and with laser tech, right? Oh, okay, here we go. So one thing that I see happen again and again and again is that it costs so much to start a med spa, start an aesthetics clinic. You've got legal fees, you've got all the domain stuff, and you've got technology, and you have to buy your equipment and get your training. And so, it's a lot. It's not something that you can get in cheaply, right? So by the time you open your doors and you sign your lease, or even if you're working from home, what I'm finding is you're running out of money for marketing. And that's terrible. It's like the biggest sin ever. You have to invest in your marketing. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point? Why did you do everything before that? And the reason you have to do marketing is there's so many people out there doing this. You have to stand out. You have to learn how to grab everyone you can and get them in your door. And the only way you can start a practice and be successful without marketing dollars is if you happen to have a huge database of people who love you and you're able to at least communicate with them and get them in the door without caring about anyone outside your inner circle. So I hope that makes sense. So today's really going to be about how to do it without wasting money, because money's so tight. And I guess before I get there too, I want Louis, please introduce yourself. This is a mentor session. It's not a sales pitch. We love working with founders of med spas and aesthetics practices and help guiding you along the way. So this is really pure information. And again, this session is going to be about SEO. It's going to be natural marketing, the things you can do to set yourselves apart. But please, Louis, introduce yourself and your whole motivation.
Hello, everybody. For those of you guys that I have not met before, if you're a new kid on the block or I haven't met you one of our trainings, my name is Louis, and I'm the founder of National Laser Institute. Started this gig 20 years ago, and prior to that, I was a health and beauty online marketer. I had the good fortune of building the 6th most visited health and beauty website in America. Long ago, we actually had more traffic than CVS and Walgreens because I learned how to market without money. I raised a bunch of money. I lost all the money. I had $300 left in the bank, and I figured out how to market without money organically on blog, SEO, search engine marketing. When somebody comes up in the top page of, you type in best steakhouse and somebody comes up the top of Google for best steakhouse, and so that's kind of my background as a health and beauty marketer, first in online internet marketing and then in education. And we obviously do a lot of consulting now for people starting up med spas. And before we actually started Louology, I think I've probably done at least, maybe 100, 150 consulting deals, helping people start med spas and things like that. And I remember back in the day, we charged people a flat fee of $60,000. And I stopped doing it because I wasn't making any money. It probably cost me $70,000, $80,000 of my time. It wasn't a good ROI for me, but I love helping people. And I always thought to myself, gosh, one day I'd like to circle back to that and find a way to help people in a more time-effective way. And thank goodness for the world of digital marketing and social media and Zooms and podcasts, things like that. So now we've found a way to do that where we can help people without spending a trillion hours and give them a really good bang for the buck and not charge them $60,000. They can, spend anywhere from $0 to a couple grand or whatever's in their budget, and kind of get them going in the right direction. So our goal in these sessions, you guys, is to give you the knowledge you need to get you on a go, because knowledge is power. And I always love that quote: give somebody a fish, they'll eat for a day, but teach them a fish, and they'll eat for a lifetime. So our goal in these sessions is to basically teach you guys how to fish.
Yes, and our fuel is two things. One is love. Anyone who's worked for me knows that. Work with me knows that as a client. Love is our fuel, and Google reviews is our fuel. So that's all we ask for. But hey, while I'm just going to go into my background really quick, and then we're going to dig in. Lucas, I'd love you to move a little closer to the camera. To me, you're too far away. I love to see your face, and I'm seeing too much. Yeah. So yeah, that's so much better. Okay. So isn't he cute, everyone? Anyone think he's not cute? And he's single too, by the way. So, but yeah, similarly, I've been in the medical industry. I ran a company for about, 14 years. It grew to $94 million. And we were top ranked in the country. And it was just, it was the way we were serving. And it was also what we were doing very creatively with our content, and with our service. So the way we were servicing people and with our content. So a couple of things I want to mention to you is Louis has some great insights as far as what you can do in setting yourself apart to begin with, finding your magic and setting yourself apart. What have you seen, Lou, about how people are articulating who they are and their magic that really captures your attention and the attention of the market that might get people in the door?
What I'm finding is that the people that are really thriving in today's world are the ones that have less of a burst business flair and more of a personal flair. So what do I mean? For example, let's say I go into social media today and I go on one of your guys' Instagram accounts and I see you doing some really cool cosmetic injections or technology treatments or IV infusions, whatever it is that you do. And I see a lot of that, but then I see more and more of the same thing and I get kind of bored. And it's kind of the same thing again and again and again. I mean, it's great to see it a few times, but I can only look at so many before and afters on Botox or fillers. But then, I was online just the other day. I saw a gal that I met 2 months ago. And yeah, she had some, injection pictures and blah, blah, blah. But I saw her getting engaged to her boyfriend, and she's on, I don't know where she was, Hawaii, somewhere tropical, and it was like, I think it was like some water ski boat or kayak or something. It was just different. As I could tell, it was like the past years where you're in this little tuxedo in the middle of the ocean, and like that's what I remember 3 days later. And that's what's resonating with me is like that personal play, like, oh, cool, she seems fun. I'd like to hang out with her one day, even though she's married. But anyway, so I think the people that are thriving in today's world are really good at giving that personal, like, who am I? What am I about? Not just how good I am at what I do.
One thing I want to add to that was sort of interesting. So, I post things and try to be funny and try to be interesting. Nothing gets better traction than when I have pictures of my mom. So there's some about my 90-year-old mom that people love.
And it's probably because she's 90, right? It's
yeah, and she looks really good for 90 too, So, but to get creative and really try to tie it in, especially if you're at a Thanksgiving dinner, those kinds of things. If you're at a family reunion, like always think about how that can tie in to how people look and feel before they get into these situations. To even like, if you're featuring a private event, like, good thing I had my blah, blah, blah yesterday, because I just feel so, my face is glowing today, or something like that. But if you can get that kind of content, even from your clients, to ask them to please send you pictures. When we're building websites for people, we always have social media day. So under the specials page, so there's always a specials page on the website. Under the specials page on the website, we always have what's called a social media day. And what you're doing is you're actually just ongoing advertising to everyone in your, anyone who lands on that specials page, that they can get a discount if they come in, get a treatment, take pictures, allow for pictures to be taken, and post the pictures and share them with you, or something of that nature, whatever your practice is. You can make an arrangement with them that they do that and they can get a discount. So maybe you were going to give a discount anyway, but you can always do that. And it's your way of, like, you need to get their permission to post their picture on your website before and after. And I can tell you, nothing real authentic pictures of before and after with comments. So like a little testimonial behind it, not just the before and after picture, but a little testimonial about it, because you're solving things. You have to remember what you know that people don't know about the equipment. So if you bought a piece of equipment that's exceptionally expensive and well known, you should be optimizing that piece of equipment as the authentic with the registered trademark and blah, 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 even if they don't know what it is. But the market needs to know what you're solving. And Louis, you can talk to this too, is like to make sure that you're hitting what's called long tail searches. So if people are upset about the lines around their mouth, they're not looking for photo facials, you know, or they're not, I guess that was a bad example, but they're not looking for micro needling or RF. They don't know what that is probably. They're looking for the best possible treatment for the lines around their mouth. So if you could post before and after pictures, mention the piece of equipment. If it's a really good piece of equipment with the registered trademark, make sure that you're getting the best. And then to also say, you know, this was the treatment. It was microneedling with PRP and blah, blah, blah. So many people just have the before and after pictures. So do you have any other ideas?
Yeah, you guys also keep in mind, unless the brand is as strong as a Botox or Morpheus 8, because Kim Kardashian's promoting that device, there's very few brands out there, cool sculpting, like the Botox, cool sculpting, Morpheus 8. You know, that literally is like 3 or 4 brands out there that are like are known brands. Everything else, yes, people are searching for Botox, Morpheus 8, and cool sculpting, but otherwise, it goes back to what Erica said, is the long tail key phrase. They're not searching for a photofacial. They're searching for, how do I make those age spots on my forehead go away? That's a long tail keyword phrase, okay? And then if you have that in your website, hey, with our photofacial device, we can make age spots on your forehead and face go away. Then Google plays matchmaker and your web page comes up top and people can call you. So people are looking for the benefit, not the brand. I'll say it again. People are looking for the benefit, not the brand, unless it's like a Botox brand or something as big as a Nike, something like that. You know, so keep that in mind when you're doing your marketing, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, SEO, which is organic kind of blog marketing. That always think problem, solution. Think of an infomercial. I'm not a fan of infomercials, but I own my own TV studio and we've done tons over the years. So I've written probably 5,000 scripts for infomercials, mainly for our own uses. And we always say, okay, problem, solution. So we don't say, here's a magical weight loss product and it's called so-and-so, come buy it and lose weight. We say, because that's not really a problem. That's kind of a brand. What we say is, hey, what's your problem? Gosh, my problem is I need to lose 30 pounds. I don't feel good about myself. That's the problem, right? So, and then what's the solution? Okay, the solution is we've got something so you can lose 30 pounds in 30 days. And then here's the brand we do it with. So again, every form of marketing, address the problem. What's the solution? So the problem is, gosh, I got wrinkles on my forehead. What's the solution? Well, we got the solution. Botox is the injection that makes the wrinkles of the forehead go away. So just, and whatever you're talking about, whatever your messaging is, just think in the back of your mind, have I stated what the problem is? Have I stated what my solution is? And not your problem, what their problem is and what your solution is, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and if you have a nice WordPress website too, there's tools like Yoast that can help you even track how people landed on your site. You can even see what they've searched on for your site. And then you can get a free Google Analytics account and go into Google Analytics and even see what your competitors are advertising. Like they could be placing paid ads and you can see what people are doing. Like they're paying for ads and you can see what they're saying. And, if it could be even a med spa or a aesthetics practice in another state that's rocking and rolling. So you can see what they're doing and even copy what they're doing. And what they're saying and how they're presenting their ads. Because if someone's paying for ads, chances are they're doing a lot of analytics work for you. And they are like, what they're saying and what they're presenting is what they should be according to the analytics. So if you don't like that stuff, you can cheat from just like obsessing over a med spa that's just doing, that you see as a direct competitor, but in a completely different state, let's say. Just obsess over them, see what they're doing, and just copy what they're doing. Because chances are it's based on analytics.
And
what do you say?
I know we probably have a lot of people online here that are probably getting ready to start a business. So just kind of business 101, little off the marketing topic, but just things you got to do. So just answer this question to yourself, yes or no. You know, have you formed a corporation, like an LLC? Have you got a name for your company? Do you have a cool little logo, a brand? Have you set up a Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok profile? Have you created a website? Have you learned how to do Google pay-per-click marketing, even if your budget's $50 a month? So these are just kind of basic one-on-one things which you have to do regardless what you're offering in the world. I don't care if you're a restaurant, a med spa. So I'm going to say it again. You got to have a corporation, right? You got to protect yourself, okay? You got to have a name of your company, okay? You got to make sure that you can trademark the name. It's not the same as somebody else's, okay? You got to have an Instagram set up, a Facebook set up, a YouTube account set up, a website set up. Do you have a logo? Is it pretty? Is it attractive? Do you have a website? Is it attractive? Do you have some content that's written? Do you have what I like to call drip marketing? That's like business 101. What's drip marketing? Let's say you've got 10 friends or 10 clients or 100 friends or 100 clients, whatever your number is. You want the key to marketing is you want to stay in front of people again and again and again. There's statistics that show for anybody to make a sale, the consumer has to see something 3-4 times. So for example, if you're driving down the freeway, you see a Kim Kardashian billboard, how she took she has some magic weight loss plan and she lost 30 pounds. You don't really think about it. Then all of a sudden you're on Google and you see an article about the same thing. Then you're on social media, you see an ad. Then you're in Target and you see this diet plan book on the shelf. You may buy it because you've been exposed to it 3 or 4 times. So how do you do that in a cost-effective way and be efficient without going crazy over it? It's very simple. You have a database. Your database is your 20 people, your 50 people, your 100 people, whatever you're starting with. Then you have a messaging. Your messaging may be a newsletter, maybe a special offer, it may be some informational content, and then you program it in a sequence for, okay, once a month, the newsletter goes out. Twice a month, the special offer goes out. Every other week, this informational thing goes out. We set up on an automation. So we plug it in once, customized for you, and that's been the key to my success, you guys, because we have millions of people in our database. I can't even count. If I had to manually figure out, oh, when do we send this out and press and write the content? We've got things pre-written. They're automated, Tuesdays, Thursdays, this kind. Then what we change is we just change up the subject lines a little bit. And we refresh the content a little bit. We kind of say the same thing again and again and again in a different way because they're selling the same product, right? So I know that's kind of a lot of information, a mouthful. But again, give yourself a checklist. If any of those items I mentioned and you're starting a business aren't in motion, ask us questions, email us, text us, and we will point you in the right direction. That's what we're here for.
Yeah. And I want to try to avoid repeating ourselves too much for those of you who are here every single month. I can't stress this more, and I'm going to say it again. And it's something that you can even do on your own. I'll give you an idea of like budget, but this is sort of like Kmart pricing, but budget. So for $795, we interview you for an hour over Zoom. You can have a friend do this. So have someone interview you over Zoom, record the interview, and have someone, even if they have to put it out to bid online at Fiverr or whoever, if you don't have a Marissa, we have a post-producer, and a video editor on staff here who's a beast. But what we do is we take that long form video and then we put your branding on it. And then we edit it too. We edit your uhs and your whatever you do during it when you mess up, it doesn't matter. You just edit it out. And then, but what you're doing is it's a question and an answer. So you have someone ask you a specific question. What are your top 3 treatments that you love the results of? You love it for certain reasons. Tell us why. So you're getting long form interview, like what are your favorite treatments? Now tell us more about this specific treatment. Why do you like it? How do you do it? It's called long tail. It gets really detailed, and those are cut up into clips. So when you're talking about, let's say we just did this with one of our clients who's on. We talked about this 3-point facelift that it's their signature 3-point facelift with lipolaser, right? So he's going into it in detail. So the whole time, like it's a long form interview about a variety of things they do, but we're going really deep. on the 3-point facelift. So that turns into a short clip that can be used all over social, but it also turns into a nice size clip that you can feature on your website for Q&A. And the fun thing is, so this is where it gets exciting. So the first thing we do is we post all of the videos on YouTube, and you can optimize your YouTube channel with the best words ever. You have to be really skilled and use the best words, have settings. You have to know things like, don't click made for kids. This is not made for kids, right? So that is another thing too. When it's made for kids, it's restricted. I know it sounds like it opens up the world, but it does the opposite. So if it's not made for kids, it's going to be better. If you say, this is my location, and you put in your Harrisburg, North Carolina in that field, it optimizes your video. And so what you're doing is you're creating a blog post on your website, and you have some copy above it about lipo laser, and then you have some copy below it. And then what you're doing is you're turning that into an email. The email is linking to your video on YouTube, right? So, and then the email can also bring them to your blog. So the fact it's all tied in, that's what you want to do, is have campaigns that are all tied in and have content that you can use everywhere and always. It's called evergreen. It doesn't get, it's educational. So on top of that, you're going to have the fun stuff that Louis was talking about, but it's really important to have that copy. And I'm going to be quiet soon. This is Lou's thing, but we also, when you post it in YouTube, you can go get the transcript, and you can remove all the garbage from the transcript and use all that copy that you just said as SEO value on a page. And the page doesn't have to be a big, very high profile page. It's there for people to find you, and then you bring them to the video. You feature the video on it. So it's there's a whole variety of really unique things you can do to help you stand out online. So
you guys, a simple summary of what Erica said is called repurposing. You create content, whether it's a video content or a blog content. Now, how many different ways can you use that content again and again and again? So you only pay for it one time. And I know people will pay $1,000 to get a video created or whatever, write some articles, right? And then they'll do it 20 times. They'll spend $20,000. I go, you're crazy. Take that one video and cut it up in 30 little pieces. Like, let me give you an example. We did 4 days ago, I did a podcast with a success story. One of our nurse graduates who made like $400,000 last year. She's killing it, doing great. So I did it was like a 20-minute podcast, just asking her questions, right? And she wanted the publicity. It was great for her, get more exposure. We got her in front of, 300,000 people. But it was great for me too. So now I take these little clips about, how she's kicking ass and doing $1 million and struggling at first, blah, blah, blah. And now I'm making all these social media clips. I'm making these into these SEO blogs and these YouTube shorts and blah, 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 blah. I'm repurposing it 10 different ways. And also it's going to go in templates. My admissions advisors that send out information to people that are considering training. Now there'll be a template email that'll have a little clip of that in there. So I'm using it like 16 different ways, but it only took me one moment in time for me to do one 20-minute interview. And if somebody was paying $1,000 for that, rather than paying 20 times, do it one time. If you got to pay for it one time, great. But then repurpose it in all these different ways,
Yep. And I'm telling you, it's invaluable. So if you don't want to spend that $7.95 and you don't need someone to feed you the questions and like how you do it and all that stuff, have a friend do it. They can be anywhere. Record the Zoom. And then when you're done with Zoom, make sure that you record it to the cloud so you can get a link to the recorded file, and then go to Fiverr, FIVR.com, Fiverr, and put it out to bid. See if there's someone out there who can add your logo, cut it up into pieces, whatever you want to do. You have to just post what you want to do with it, and you get bids. And then you get someone from Fiverr to do it for you and hope it works out. But it's usually really cheap on Fiverr. So that's a good cheat on how to start. Another incredible cheat for ranking online is Yext, Y-E-X-T. This gets you listed, I was saying 70, but now it's over 95. It gets you listed in over 95 regional directories online. And it also gives you a dashboard so you can change information about your location, about maybe you can cheat. There's one little field you can cheat in and even put a little special in there. And it gets out to all of the, it gets out to all 95 of these online search, the regional searches, but it gives you 95 inbound links. And that's another thing. If you can get other websites to link to your website, those are called inbound links. And that will help, right? That tells Google that you're real and other people do like you. So as many friends as you have that own other businesses or salons, whatever, you can give them a link and even track the links from their site and, you know, give them a spiff if you get enough referrals from them, those kinds of things. What other tricks have
you guys ask yourself when you go online and you're looking for whatever, clothes, food, restaurants, vacations, whatever, ask yourself, what do you look for? When you go on that website, what do you look for? Do you know what I look for? I look for raving reviews. I look for people saying, oh my gosh, this is the best of whatever ever. And then I look at it and I see how many reviews they have. They have like 3 or 4. Well, gosh, if it's 3 or 4, maybe it's their family and friends. But if I see, okay, 10, 15, 20, 50, then I get intrigued. And I prefer to look at a video sometimes, a quick little 10-second, 30-second video that I do reading some articles. So you want to, I mean, if you're just getting started, then all you can do is start with family and friends, right? But you got to start somewhere. So make sure everything you do has third-party credibility, not you saying how great you are, but third-party credibility. If you notice, if you go on our website at nationallaserinstitute.com, you can't go anywhere without seeing some link to click on some video testimonials or something about our reviews or something like that, because I don't want to be selling me. I want a third party selling me and saying how good we are. And that's what you want too. You don't want to pitch how great you are. You want somebody who got a treatment or a service pitching how great you are. So that has to be front of mind in everything you do. Always ask yourself, whatever marketing you're putting out there, where's my review? Where's my testimonial? Where's my third party credibility? And if it doesn't exist, how can I create it that's legitimate? And there's always a way. You just got to think it through. There's always a way.
Yeah, and two things, like I've been interviewing marketing companies to see who we should be partnering with, because we don't do social media or anything like that. We don't really do SEO. We do more content creation and also med spa formation, like with paralegal services and that kind of stuff. And we build websites and do branding. But the marketing companies, the cheapest one I've been able to find has been, well, there's one that was $757 a month, but it was not good. We tried it on a client and it was bad. There's one that I found that was $900 a month for like one type of marketing. Like you could do one thing, and then if you want to add something else, it's another 900. If you want full blown everything, it's $2,700 a month for full blown. That's even paid ads and everything. That was the best pricing and the best person, like it's aesthetic conversion, they're called, aestheticconversion.com. So that was the cheapest high quality firm I found. And then I did find another one. Oh my God, I'm forgetting. I think it was called Medical Doctor. I forgot. I'm going to have to look it up, but they're $1,500 a month. And they don't do anything less. So it's just like you can't ramp up with them. It's just $1,500 a month. So at least the other one you can ramp up. But those are like our two finalists. So if you want me to, you can always ask at Louology.com. That comes to me. And then I could always, but they're going to be on Louology.com/mentors. Anyone we find who we really like our paralegal, she's amazing and she's really inexpensive. We've got a supplier with supplies like McKesson in there, and they give us loose pricing on stuff. It's just, there's a whole bunch of, like, if you go to Louology.com/mentors, that's where I'm going to be posting whoever I find that I think are really good, and we'll test them out. So hopefully that helps, because it's hard to track down this stuff, and it's hard to not get ripped off by just people doing stupid things that don't really make a difference.
And you guys, a lot of people have good intent. A lot of these marketing companies and advertising agencies, they have good intent. But you know what I always say to myself, I don't take this the wrong way, but I always say, why would you create an advertising company if you could make more money doing it yourself? The reason I don't own an ad agency, because I can make more money marketing myself. Why do I want to go out and teach everybody else how to do that when I can make 10 times more myself because I know how to do it? But most ad agencies, they can't do that. They haven't figured it out. So they sell services, they get the money they can. And I'm not trying to rip on people. I'm just saying that's just the world we live in. So if somebody's really good at something, they pretty much keep it for themselves, and they grow their own businesses, their own brands, and things like that. And so that's just the reality. So that's just the way it goes in the marketing world. Yeah.
Yeah, and do make sure that you have a really solid marketing system, like stay organized. It's so funny. I was even with a client yesterday teaching them, she'd never even used her Google Calendar. She does everything in paper and is not technically astute. So it's like I had to sit and teach her how to use Google Calendar. And then the workspace, which is the business Google account, like it's the same Google Calendar. So her knowing that helps. And Revelana, the all-in-one marketing software and like appointment setting software system that ties into Google Workspace. So you can work from your phone from a system that you're familiar with, but it goes into a bigger system, and this starts doing your work for you, because once they set an appointment, it's already set up with everything you want to send to a client to get them ready for the appointment, to make sure they show up, to, if they're late, to sort of prod them. And then afterwards, like send those reviews. So even if you're doing this on your own at first, because you don't have anything set up, just make sure that after, and we have to do the same thing after this mentor session, we need your reviews. That's what keeps us going. We don't care if you buy from us. Your reviews are going to have other people seeing it, and they're going to say, wow, we want to work with them. So that's what I mean. Like, we don't turn this into a sales pitch. We want to give as much as we can. So you're like, shit, these are really cool people. They give a lot, because that's how powerful reviews are. And even if you're giving free consults, and you're asking people, please, can you please post a positive review about this experience you've just had with us? That's how you get things rolling. It's amazing, isn't it, Lou? How powerful, especially Google, and say Google and Facebook, but Google #1, right?
Yeah. They're amazing, you guys. And also, you want to have the Google, you want to have the Facebook. Some people like Yelp. Some people. I own another company. It's called a Clinical Research Fast Track. We're a training company, clinical research, and we made a business decision in that company not to use Yelp and only use Google. At my company, National Laser, we use Yelp, but it's pros and cons, man, because, for some reason, people go crazy on Yelp, good or bad, they go crazy. And so you will get slammed, no matter how good you are, you will get slammed a lot on Yelp because you got those characters that are just never happy, and you're going to have those as I do. So it's kind of a business decision you have to make if you want to do Yelp or not. Google is a little bit cleaner, in my opinion. Facebook as well. And then we also do a lot of our own private reviews. We've got 7,000 private reviews on our website that are people that sent it in to us, and we just cut it and paste it and put it on our website. That may or may not even be out there on Google, things like that. But yeah, it definitely, I can't tell you how many clients that we get because they saw all these amazing reviews and life-changing stories and videos and things like that. So you really got to obsess over that. It's cheap marketing, you guys. You don't need to pay somebody. You don't need to go pay some marketing firm or ad agency to figure out the magic to do reviews. You just got to put in the discipline and ask people who have a good experience with you, hey, can you write a review? Can you write a review? Have them send it to you and then say, hey, oh, by the way, what you just sent me, thank you so much. Do you mind cutting and pasting that on Google or Yelp or any platform you used before? I'd appreciate you, and I'll throw you a free skincare product next time you come. And that $20 skincare product you give them will be the best $20 you ever spent. So it'll bring you 10 clients. So it'll spend $2,000 for the year, and you make $20,000 because you invested $20 in a free skincare product. I can't tell you how many times you've done something like that, and it's it's magical. And it's the little things. You'd be shocked. Sometimes the little things can really catapult to business. And on that note, just out of curiosity, put in the chat box really quickly if A, you started a business already, you have a business, B, you're getting ready to start a business, or C, you just don't know what the heck you want to do. just kind of curious who the audience is out there as far as people have an existing business or starting a business. Getting ready. I don't know what ABC is.
Oh, you're so funny.
I already forgot which was A, B, or C.
You're the one who created the rules. Yeah, I love seeing that. I love it because it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and you have to remember, like, you got into this because you love to treat. You got everyone I speak to, like, someone even asked me, because aesthetics is a funny world, right? Every single person, I used to work with a lot of occupational therapists and physical therapists, right? Just like OTs, I think you guys are so much like them. You love affecting people. You love making them feel good about themselves. And when you think about what really makes a difference in your life, it's like physical things. When you can change a physical thing about a person, that can sometimes spark a whole new life for them. So it's really important to not take that for granted and get that point across, because that's what we're doing with a client out who's got a laser that does body contouring. It's like, just start that path to a better feeling about yourself, your body, and your outlook and your life. We do go there in our articulations. Like, make that appointment, get in and start this path to a better body and a happier life. So those kinds of things really do hit home with people from a marketing perspective. But I'm telling you, to get them, you have to say, how do I get rid of this fat around my stomach? And think about the fact there's voice search. Now that changed a lot, because like people are just now clicking and saying what they want into their phone, not necessarily typing it. But it's like, how do I get rid of my arm fat? And they're not necessarily calling it bat wings, or they're not calling it a technical thing. So really think about what people, and ask people how they found you. Don't say, how did you find me? Because that's like, oh, how did you find me? But like, how were you referred to me? And if they say, I just did a search, like, don't be afraid to say when you're with them, like, do you mind me asking, like, what you searched? Do you remember? Because I love you. You can always say to them, like, if you do, I love you and I want more of you. And I love this particular treatment. So it would really help me to know what you searched on so I can get more of you. And they love sharing that kind of stuff with you. That's really valuable. What else, Lou? What other magic do you have?
I saw a lot of people just hitting really quickly about the medical director stuff. So yes, you guys, you need a medical director. Yes, they have to be in the state you live in. Yes, we have access to medical director agreements and people that can set up legal stuff for you and things like that. If you're a medical director, if you're an MD, a DO, an NP, no, you cannot be a medical director in another state unless you get your license in another state. But yeah, so that's just kind of basic 101. So, but you're welcome to message us, email us for more details on any of the medical director stuff. I just saw a flood of those come in right now.
Yeah. And that I didn't put the hyperlink there, but I did put I'm going to put the Google review link there again. So if anyone has time to, like, please post a positive review about us. You can even put your logo into your review too. If you have a logo, put it in there, because those reviews also get you seen thousands of times too.
You guys have, those of you guys that are just starting social media, I can't tell you how many, especially nurses, for some reason, the non-medical people are on social media. A lot of my medical friends, nurses, NPs, Ps, doctors, aren't on social media, and they're realizing they got to start. So those of you guys that just want to get familiar with them, follow us on Instagram at Ask Louology, like ask a question. Louology, just watch what we do. Watch, what's the serious stuff, what's the videos, what's the pictures, what's this, what that. Just get a flavor. You're also welcome to follow me on my personal Instagram. Mine's a little more silly and motivational. It's just Louis, the laser guy, LOUIS, laser guy. But those two alone will give you a flavor, and it'll kind of jog your mind of things you could do with your style, your personality, and your services. Take us as like a roadmap. Look at what Ask Louology is doing. Look at what Louis the Laser Guy is doing, and just pick out things that you like and knock us off with your style and just get it rolling. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait till the business has launched. Don't wait till you got your first 20 clients. Just get rolling now. Start tomorrow. Open up an account. Start tomorrow. And even if you start talking about how cool Botox is and your first treatment experience and your kids and dogs, whatever it is, just get in the habit of getting on there and slowly doing some stories and posting so you start getting in the groove. The worst thing that can happen is you'll get 20, 30 people that are friends and family that follow you. Then once you're rocking and rolling business, they'll continue following you and they'll share your posts with their friends. And you'll start making money. No downside, guys. No downside.
Yeah, start it now and bring them on your journey. One of the most important things too, if you have a company name, whatever, start in a location, start your Google My Business page. That's incredibly important and it takes a while. And you might have some hiccups if you don't know what you're doing. You might have some hiccups with that. So start your Google My Business page, get your email on Workspace. That's something, if you go to our services page, we help with all that if you want to help. But make sure you start that, like get your domain for your business and get it on Google Workspace, which is a professional version of Gmail. It is Google, it's Gmail, but it's using your new domain. And that's a very subtle way, even with friends and family, to tell them to please, and this is really important, by the way, you have to tell them, please add this to your contacts. I'm going to be using this email going forward. And you think it's simple, but it's not. This is a way of what's called warming up your domain. So if Google sees several people are adding your new domain to their contacts, it makes you a safe sender. And if you're going back and forth with people, if there's replies, it's very similar to social. If there's a lot of conversation, engagement, then that makes it legitimate. And you end up being really loved by Google. It's a shortcut to warming up your domain. Because when you start using that email to send marketing emails, you can get shut down in a heartbeat. And you can't do that with Gmail or Outlook or Yahoo or any of those. You can't do marketing on a free email account. You can only send like a small amount of emails a day and they cut you off. So just know those rules. Make sure you get used to those rules around warming up your domain, making sure you create reply dot, a subdomain for your email marketing. Make sure whoever you're working with knows what they're doing when you start doing that kind of stuff.
Somebody just sent me a private
Louis?
message, and I will answer this question. They asked me what the highest profit margin services are, and I'm guessing that they were a nurse just by the way the question was phrased. So the two highest profit margin services as a medical professional, in my opinion, hands down, are PRP, platelet-rich plasma injections, and PDO threads. PDO threads is known as a non-surgical facelift to lift your face. You may pay $200 the product costs, and your patient will pay you $2,000, $3,000. PRP, you might pay $80. You'll sell it for $800, unlike a traditional Botox and filler, where yes, it's more popular, but the profit margin is way less. So if you are a medical professional, I don't know if you've been in business for a while or just getting rolling, if you aren't doing PRP and PDO threads, I would seriously look into them because it is becoming quite the rage and it's growing in popularity every single day. And I would say, if you had asked me what our fastest growing training class is, I mean, of course, everybody does Botox and fillers and lasers, but I would say as far as standalone days when people say, Louis, I just want to do a couple of days of this or that, I find like the last 3 months has always been PRP or PDO. Like, Louis, can I come in for just 2 days of this or that? That's what I'm hearing again and again and again. So I listen to what the market's telling me, and that's what the market's telling me,
Right on. It's very true. Right on. So what about making those decisions of what to focus your energy on in your marketing and how to get people in the door?
Yeah, I kind of find that a personal decision because I'm a big believer you should not be jack of all trades, master of none. I'm a big believer you should not be promoting everything you have in your in everything. I mean, it's a natural inclination to go out there, and whether it's on a social media or a printed ad or whatever, to say, oh, I do these 16 things. I think that's a kiss of death in business. Amazon did not start off with 10,000 products. They started with books. Walmart started off as a 5 and dime store, a couple of things. They evolved to being all things to all people. But when they evolved, they also had hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. So when you're getting rolling, I'm a big believer in being, sure, of course, you can offer it all, but be an expert in something. Something, in my opinion, shouldn't necessarily be what makes you the most money. It's what you can get your heart around, what you're passionate about. When you're passionate about something, you talk it out more, you get more excited about it. It's either to sell. So find something that really excites you, that turns you on. Be the expert of that. Focus on that to get people in the door. Once they come in the door, you guys, they're gonna fall in love with you, and they're gonna do anything with you. They're gonna do all the services with you, but you got to get in the door with something. So I always joke that when I was getting divorced years ago and I was searching for a divorce attorney, I get like 4 great referrals, 4 great divorce attorneys. Out of the 4, 3 did divorce and many other things, business law, personal injury, etc. 1 did only divorce, and that's who got my money. I found out later on they did everything else too, but my perception was all they did was divorce, and that's why I hired them, because I thought they would give me the best knowledge, the best deal. So I think it's good to be known as an expert at something, whatever your something is. And then as you build the traffic and the client flow, then you can evolve to letting them know what else you do. I just think that's always worked well for getting people in the door. Think about it. If you're female and you want to get your lips done for the very first time, well, Erica, I don't think you've ever done your lips, have you? So let's say Erica wants to do her lips for the first time, and she's shopping 10 medical providers. And out of the 10 providers, Erica, 9 of them do lips and Botox and pedio threads and PRP. But one person, one nurse you came across, gosh, it looks like all she does is lips. 7 days a week, she does 10 patients a day, just lips, lips, lips. Who are you going to go to, Erica? Who are you going to feel most comfortable with, right?
It's true, but I love my lips. I'm sorry. No, I got your point. Ironically, I work in this beautiful world. I've never had an injection. Maybe someday. But I really do. I'm a big fan of getting, like, not getting sucked into being all things to all people. Definitely narrow it down. I think Ness is on this call, like Smooth House Laser. You pegged it, man. You did. You pegged it. So it's like she's laser. She's all about. She was Ness the laser girl. I forgot. Yeah, but we completely transformed her, and now her brand. Go look at smoothhouselaser.com. That is a beautiful brand. It's a beautiful, focused. You have been such a joy to work with, I have to say. Very, very focused. So, and you just take one step at a time. You have to start somewhere and let life take you where you want to go. We have a tough, you're going to run into tough situations too, where like maybe you don't have the qualifications to be, you need a medical director, and then it ends up, so you might even decide, I'm going to go a different direction. I'm going to be non-medical. We had someone in the comments like, you can go non-medical, then start doing facials and non-medical stuff. We're not going to discriminate. We'll help you too. We'll give you advice. But it's and then see where it takes you. Maybe you end up in business with a medical doctor and an NP and be your medical director. Like, let it take on its life. Instead of turning that into a struggle, let it take you where it's supposed to take you. And it's, things always work out. Life's so much bigger than we think it is, right? So, okay, the next marketing comment is, Louis, what has been the best use of your money?
The best use of my money has been people versus buying advertisements. So finding people who can execute on something. So for example, I can go out and I could spend 10 grand next month, you guys, on what's called boosted ads on Facebook and Instagram, where anytime somebody types in Botox treatment, my ad comes up in front of XYZ people, and I can spend 10 grand a month. But guess what? Let's say that 10 grand a month gets me, let's say it gets me 20 people to say, tell me more. Okay, so 10 grand by 20 people, let's see, that would be $500 a person I just paid for the chance of getting a customer. Now, let's say I hire a social media person full time. Let's say I'm paying them 40 grand a year or $3,500 a month, and they get me the same 20 names. for a third of the price. Rather than paying $500 a prospect, I'm paying $150. So I invested in labor, in talent, in a team member, not necessarily in an ad. So I've found historically over the years, and life's a numbers game. Sometimes people work out, sometimes they don't. But I found, when you get it right, they create really good subject lines for you or really good content for you. And I mean, like I checked my statistics, my analytics an hour ago. We had 136 leads today in one day from SEO, which is search engine optimization, which means people search online for Botox training, PRP training, Botox treatment. Over 100 people inquired, and I paid $0 for them. And I've had those live for years and years and years. And they stay fresh, and I have somebody update them now and then. And so, gosh, for me to get 123 people paying a Google pay-per-click or boosted ads, that could cost me $100 a lead, you guys. That's gonna be a fortune. So I found that we're all real quick to spend money on. Let's spend money on this print ad or this TV commercial or this Google pay-per-click, and it depends on your budget. If you've got a budget where you can spend 10 grand a month in marketing, then yeah, let's talk about it. And if you want some advice, we'll point you to the right direction. But if you're on a shoestring budget, you just want to baby step it, I would invest in people sometimes more so than I would the actual advertising item.
That, I have to say, Louis, you surprised me. I didn't expect that answer, and it's brilliant. And I totally agree. There's nothing more powerful than your personal touch. And even like when you're on the soccer field or, whatever it might be, there's nothing more powerful than that. You have to have extraordinary branding. That's one thing. Make sure you have business cards. And this is the best way to work the community. So if something's close enough to where you want to treat, you have to go in and visit. At least have business cards. Have a nice website and have your business cards before you hit the street, right? When you're out on the street and you're visiting salons or gyms or like just getting to know the community, you need to go in a little planned. And I want, Louis, when I'm done with this little spiel, I would love you to come up with what you think they should say when they walk into a place, right? So when you walk in and you say certain things that serves their needs, not yours, right? Then what happens is you're going to learn a lot, and you can say to them, you know what? I'm going to make flyers specifically for you guys. And those flyers can go right there. And I'm going to make sure that we treat your clients well, and they know they're getting a special discount or whatever, a special offer if they're coming from you. And then you go back and you design a flyer based on what you've learned while you were out there. And you're like, then when you come back, you're like, here I am. I promised you flyers. They're going to go in that spot. So what do you think, Louis, they can say to referral sources out in the community, and the best referral sources for a med spa or aesthetics clinic, or even a hair salon? Or
so what every business owner wants to hear, you guys, is, I hate to say this, but what can you do for me, right? If I'm walking into a hair salon or a chiropractor's office and I'm shooting the shit about what I'm doing, whatever, they're whatever on that. But if I'm talking about how I've got some thoughts on how they can grow their business, they can give our clients at no cost, they're going to say, oh, well, tell me more. Did you just say more clients at no cost? And now you've got their attention. And now you talk about your referral program, how, you send me, I send you, we do this, you do that. And all of a sudden, you're in this conversation, which is real. It's not bullshit, it's real. And I mean, the example I gave before of my MP friend who did $1 million last year, that's exactly what they're doing. She's got, I think she's got 2 hairstylists, a nail tech, a lash person, an esthetician, blah, blah, blah. And that's exactly what they do. They just send each other business all day long. They don't pay each other referral fees. They just give each other clients all day long. But some people choose to do referral fees, whether it's money, $50, $20, something, or services, or whatever it may be, whatever somebody's interested in, right? You got to appeal to somebody's senses,
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys in your markets, if you have stores that sell bathing suits, boutiques like that, where there's a good high-end traffic coming in, they're trying on bathing suits. You know what it's like when you're staring in that mirror. There's a good synergies there if you're doing body contouring. The other thing too is things like, let's say, real estate agencies, brokerages. So any company that has a sales force that's face to face, they care about the HR wise. They can't say, you know, you're going to sell more if you look good, or if you get rid of that thing on your face, or, you know, whatever. They can't say that, right? But you can come in and say, we can make sales go up by making your salespeople look better. And then you can even ask them, do you happen to do any gifting? Because I'd be happy to offer you an incredible deal. And then you can either pay for a piece of it, because you already gift your, like, they reward sales, right? So they buy, and they also buy gifts after they close on a house too. So it's good to get in with realtors, right? Or anyone who's out there selling, especially to higher end. And something like that, really, when you look better, you can sell more. That's one thing. But you can also come up with something that makes it look like the employer is paying for a piece of it. So you're not saying you get a discount. You're saying your employer is paying for 40% of this or 20% of this. So there's all kinds of ways you can get creative in the community.
Erica, I was having a Starbucks with a friend of mine who owns a pretty successful hair salon in town like 2 weeks ago. And she was talking about, you know, wanting my advice, how she can motivate her salespeople. She said they're great providers, but nobody's really a salesperson. How I can, you know, we're discussing, you know, ideas to motivate her team. I think she had like 12 hairstylists, something like that. And so I said, hey, let me give you a jump start. Tell you what, for somebody to laser their entire body, like laser hair removal, arms, legs, shit, it could cost $2,000, $3,000. Right? I said, tell you what I can do. You got 12 people. Why don't you give your top 3 hairstylists a full head to toe laser hair removal thing worth $3,000 from me, my treat, no big deal. I'm gonna give you certificates, and they're, oh my gosh, Louis, you're the nicest guy in the world. You're the best friend. I'm kind of smiling, thinking, okay, yeah, I am a nice guy, but I have an ulterior motive. I know when that hairstylist falls in love with that, guess what she's gonna talk up to all her future clients, and she sees 10 people a day, which is 300 people a month. And I promise you, out of those 300 people a month, X, Y, Z of those people are gonna start coming to me for laser hair removal. So a silly thing like that can bring you ongoing revenue, not one time. Not like you pay for an ad every month, you pay again. You took care of somebody one time, they talk you up every month the rest of your life, you know?
Yep. So there you go. So we have 2 minutes left. If you have any more words of wisdom, we want to fill this with great content to the end.
I do have some words of wisdom. I do interviews. I've done interviews a zillion times, you guys, over the years, and like, what's my secret to success? And Louis, how do you do $100 million in sales and blah, 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 and this, that. Everybody's looking for this magic formula, you guys. And the honest to God truth is there is no magic formula. The formula is this. You got to have a dream. And you got to say to yourself, if I was guaranteed to succeed in this amazing business, that's $1 billion industry, you know, what would that look like in 5 to 10 years? If you're guaranteed to succeed, if you could not fail, what would you want to be doing in 5 to 10 years? Services you want to be providing, location, how much money you want to be making, blah, blah, blah. That's number 1. Number 2, you got to know you're going to fall on your ass. You're going to stumble. You're going to suck. You're going to hit brick walls. You're going to want to scream and yell and throw in the towel. Okay? And no, that's part of the journey. Every single success story in the world has stumbled and fallen. You've heard the million stories. Oprah Winfrey got fired from her job. The Wright brothers failed 10,000 times before an airplane got off the ground. God, the Beatles were told their music sucked. Walt Disney was told he had no imagination. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. What's the one common denominator? They had a dream. And when the shit hit the fan, they did not quit. They kept going and going and going and going. And one day, hard work manifested into luck, and their dreams came true because they believed in themselves. And as long as you understand this, as long as you know of one other person in the world that's been successful in this industry, then you got to say to yourself, well, shit, excuse my French, but shit, if he did it, and she did it, and Louis did it, and Erica did it, and they did it, why can't I? Well, we're here to tell you that, yes, you can. You got to say to yourself, it's not a matter of if I'm going to hit that dream and goal vision, it's when. It's how long it's going to take you. Time's the only variable. As long as you can find a way to pay the bills as you stumble through it, one day you're going to be telling stories that are going to blow your mind, because, you know, the magic happens when you're going outside your comfort zone. You're going from the comfortable to the uncomfortable, from the known to the unknown, and you just got to believe in yourself. You got to keep going and going and going. And I promise you guys, one day you'll be telling your stories, not of your success, but of your failures, and of your journey, and of your struggles, And that's what makes it so sweet. All my best stories are all things I sucked at, my brick walls, my failures, not that, oh, I did $100 million in sales. I said this magazine. No, it's like, I want to tell you about God, how I lost all this money and I was bankrupt and I was living with my ex-wife in a one-bedroom apartment for $500 a month, and we couldn't even afford a bed. We borrowed our ex-boyfriend's bed. We bought a TV for $10 at a gift, and blah, blah, blah. Those are the stories I remember. And so again, you guys, you got to be on a mission. You got to be on a passion, and you got to not go out there and say, I'm going to give it a shot. I'm going to give it my best. I'm going to be no. Don't go out there and see how it's going to go. Go out there with a mission and a passion to figure the F out. Excuse my French.
And practice how you're going to answer the phone. Did I just bring it down with that? But practice how you're going to answer the phone. All right. Love you all, really. This has been wonderful. We do it once a month. We have our inner circle. Right now, it's only $99 a year to join if you go to Louology.com. But that's a different Q&A kind of Zoom meeting.
And
the
follow
third
us.
Wednesday of the month.
Follow us on
But
social media. Knock us up. Ask Louology on Instagram and Louis the Laser Guy on Instagram. Follow us. Stay in touch. Ask us any questions you have. Thank you, Erica. Thank you, everybody.
yeah, thank you, Louis. It was nice seeing you. Please Google
All right.
reviews. That's all we ask. Google reviews.
We do love reviews.
Thank you. Have a great night.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.